Hello and welcome to the Belong Arena Clash 2018 summer season. I'm John Allen, and with me is Blank. How you doing on this fine summer's day in Basingstoke?
It's a very fine summer's day.
It is, isn't it?
Unfortunately, because I am of the gingers, I had to put on factor 50 this morning. I had to lather that in.
Well, you heard it here first. He is of the Gingers. But today we are going to be looking at the Arena Clash Championship, which is the top-level competition for the Belong Arena Clash. We're going to be covering Overwatch. We've got 4 maps per game today. We've got 2 fixtures as well in best of 4s. So I'm pretty excited to get underway. It's the start of the new season. What do you are you feeling excited as well?
I'm feeling very excited.
Yeah?
So we've basically seen none of these players before. Obviously, Open Division has just been and gone. Contenders Trials been and gone. So we're working up. Overwatch League is down. Contenders. So all the action is here right now, guys. So we'll be seeing some up-and-coming players. You might even see them next season of Contenders, next season of Open Division.
Yeah, so today we do have Hull versus Bristol, and then we have Bradford versus MK. So let's take a look at the rosters for these teams. We've got Damage Comet, fresh from a sesh, Ethyat, Hey, I'm Jade, Mivia, 666, Life, and Lifelong Jam on the Hunters. So not names that I'm particularly familiar with, but I think we'll get to know them pretty well over the course of these next 4 games.
Yeah, hopefully. Mivia 666 strikes me as quite a good one. I mean, the name seems harmless, and then you have 666 at the end, which is rather amusing. Yeah. But over the Bristol Smugglers, we do have Swanky Orc, Greeno, Mosher, Alley Cat, Obscura Owl, and Soda Rife.
Soda Rife, yeah, fantastic. So those are going to be the teams going into the first matchup of the day. I think we're going to be starting off, well, so I know we're going to be starting off on Rialto. It's going to be the first map. We've got Rialto, Nepal, Temple of Anubis, and then Blizzard World today, so 4 games. Of course, we are using the Overwatch, the OWL format of 4 games going on. So we'll be going to all 4 games for both of these matchups.
Yeah, so a little different to the Overwatch League. I mean, we are playing pretty much, but we will not be playing the 5th game, guys. So for a win, these players, they'll get 3 points. For a draw, it's 2, I believe. And then for a loss, 0 points, I'm afraid, guys. Nothing going to you. So every single of these maps, they will hit to a sum of 4. So we could have 3-1 games. We could have a 100% sweep for a 4-0, which would be interesting, to say the least.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, I'm just setting up the lobby at the moment because I've got control of it, and I think both teams are ready. So we are going to get into game, and we'll be getting on with the game shortly. So, with the recent developments, obviously Symmetra not being allowed in as a recent change, as a recent rework, so that's not going to be played today. But we've got a couple of changes to the meta that happened not super recently, but quite recently. Obviously, with Brigitte coming in as one of this new hard-hitting supports, has really impacted the meta.
Oh yeah, for sure. So Brigitte basically has killed Dive. She came along, she's took a knife in it. It's no longer as effective. Can be played. Some fellows were brave enough to bring it back out in Open Division Contenders Trials. The way you have to really play it is this trifecta. You've got to have the spam comps, you've got to have the dive comps, you've got to have the tank comps. So guys, what will happen here is spam beats tank, tank beats dive, dive beats spam. So it's kind of rock, paper, scissors today. It's quite amusing, so we'll have to see how it goes down. We are going to take a quick look at the defending team first, however. Yeah,
so at the moment we're going to be starting off, by the looks of it, over with the Hull side on defense. They are going to be rocking up with the Farah in the skies, which generally tends to go quite well against that triple tank comp that we sometimes see. And then backing it up is the McCree, so they will have that ranged presence as well. Dropping in the double shield as well.
So on Rialto in particular, this map favours a lot of flanking routes. Now McCree, not as effective on maps like Junkertown where it's such open spaces, but where you can get all these flanks off and there's so many little narrow alleyways, McCree is so effective here, right? Because his flashbang can be used to great efficacy. Also he has that huge burst that you don't see coming. And recently he did get a buff to his Deadeye, so now that is at 200 meters rather than 70. Unfortunately these guys on Bristol, they're not playing any Farahs, so it's not going to be coming into effect, but it might be useful if Obscura Owl does Valk.
So they are just going to be pushing up onto the cart already. Got the Reinhardt to protect them. They're taking the Widowmaker as well, so Ethyat really is going to have his work cut out for him to try and dodge through those bullets, but already he's managed to take down the Farah. You can see he's on the sidelines, has the Mercy pocketing him as well. Reinhardt's going to charge in. They're looking to try and engage straight up on the cart, pushing them back around the corner though. So they're not going to be able to just slow them down a little bit, obviously with the loss of their Widowmaker. it's going to be a little bit more tricky for them.
Yeah, Hull are just remaining on point. This is very well played from them. They're a member down, a member up, sorry, but they're just letting them push slowly but surely. As soon as Fresh comes towards this Earthshatter, that's when they want to really engage. But Game Hull, he's low already. So Greeno still backing up, his shield very low, and Fresh goes in. Trapped by though.
They are going to be counter-engaging the grind charge straight on back. Fresh gets taken down pretty early on into the engage. They've lost a major component of their shield, but they still have that Orisa to play around. They're still contesting a little bit forwards on the cart. There's the Riptide, finds a double kill. That should be a brilliant push going through for the Bristol Smugglers. They're just going to be able to clean it up as they just rally up and pick off the remaining members on the Hull Sky.
Junkrat is such an amazing accessory to anti-dive, right? So the bear trap that he's just thrown down now, this is insane because it kind of dissuades the front line to go in too hard. And we saw Fresh get picked out by the Junkrat trap, couldn't quite get the dive in, and they are going to take the first point pretty easy there. But again, Fresh needs to be wary of this now. It's happened to him once, it cannot happen again. Greeno has the Earthshatter. Fiat's going to be wanting to use this barrage. There are so many opportunities for that flank on the Farah because there's so many places where you can go for the rooftops. So that's going to come out first, but it'll be up to Mosher here with the Diva Matrix. Goes up, finds him, and now they can continue to push on through.
Straight on up to that Orisa shield. It's going down. Reinhardt now the remaining shield, trying to keep them grouped up, and in goes the Reinhardt, finds the Junkrat already, so that's a massive damage source taken out of the fight. Transcendence gets popped, just keeping them all alive and healthy. The res goes out onto Junkrat. The Diva Mech goes down, but there's an Earthshatter from Bristol. They charge straight on through. A brilliant res and a brilliant Transcendence to push them through to the rest of the fight. The Mercy trying her best to keep them healed up, but how long is it going to last? Here comes Farah back into the fight. The Diva managing to take down Game Hull as well on that McCree means that they are just going to round the corner. Over the bridge they go. They're into the tunnel phase now, looking to try and go through. The Flame Strike will just be able to see them to safety, and now they need to regroup. Hull going to have to rethink their strategy and change over onto the Genji.
Yeah, so at the moment they're not able to contest Swanky Orc on the Soldier. So Swanky Orc, when you play Soldier right, it's very difficult to play him because he's so easily diveable. But the Transcendence is out, but it's not going to prevent the Riptide from doing the damage. Finds the double kill as he wanted. And now this team can come back in because the late spawns, that's going to be coming back now. Game with Hull in the backline does find Soda.
They're going to be able to jump onto that Genji as well. In goes Diva, but a little bit overextended, has to back up. Luckily, the rest of the team is right there, ready and waiting. Supercharger popped, and so is self-destruct sequence going through. It's going to find one onto the Zenyatta. He didn't have Transcendence, so it's not super effectful as Hull rally around. They've already managed to take out a major source of DPS. The Soldier's gone down. They have that Junkrat still available, being pocketed up by the Mercy, but there's the Genji on the backline, looking to try and pick off the Mercy. From the skies, Farah reigns in, takes down their DPS once more, and they're backed off, have to regroup. And Bristol are going to have another attempt at this one.
Bristol, you gotta contest that Genji. I mean, it's all good and well getting the Riptide in the front lines, but it's not going to dissuade the Genji from coming in and aggravating your backline instead. So the moment what they're going to have to start doing is moving their attention over the Zen. This fight's not as important just because they probably will find the kills. Fresh is in the front line coming up to that Earthshatter as well. They should be able to push them back. Concussion Mine coming out from Soda is absolutely amazing though. His placements of it so far have been pushing main DPS targets back into backlines, but here we go, a pick already out onto the Zenyatta.
They're not going to be able to build up that Transcendence just yet. The res comes through, and the Reinhardt's taken down as well, so no res for the front line. There goes the Rocket Barrage on the back, finds one, but a huge Earthshatter makes it not matter at all as the Junkrat chucks out that concussion grenade, and that is going to be all she wrote. There's the Genji trying to find what he can with the Dragon Blade, but just gets shut down. A brilliant performance so far from the Reinhardt on the Bristol side.
That was an expensive re-engage from Hull there. They had to use the barrage and they had to use the Dragon Blade as well. So that's their main damage sources, which are now out of the fight, which means that Bristol can be a little bit more aggressive here as the Reinhardt goes forward. Greeno been very, very calculating at the moment, but doesn't matter. Earthshatter goes down. Now the early Transcendence.
Not going to be able to save the Junkrat though as they continue to go for the fight. Now that Transcendence is down and the res has come through, they pretty much reset. They still have Transcendence available on Hull, so they can go for an aggressive engage here. Fresh charging forward, going for that Flame Strike, trying to keep himself and the rest of his team alive. The charge doesn't connect, so it's not going to do enough damage. Genji on the backline, able to take down the Diva Mech, and an Earthshatter goes underneath the shield, not going to be able to find anyone as the Orisa comes in, just displacing people, making sure that they're forced back as Mini Diva gets taken down by that Genji. Another Dragon Blade being brought out already, finds the kill onto the Reinhardt, turns it onto that Junkrat, and will make sure that they're able to keep that hold before that second tick.
Bristol, so far, well played. You had the right strategy in mind. Yeah, so you got the Transcendence out to make sure the Mercy res went off in that case. You got him back up again. But the moment you're not dealing with the Genji in the backlines, he could just sit there, and he's almost part of the 7th member of the team, just with the Betrayal Dagger in the back at the moment. Now, Mosher has the Diva Bomb. You also have the Earth Shard as well, so this is a huge combo that could come down. It'll be up the lifelong jam, so I think get rid of him early, but there goes the Diva Matrix. But I'm sorry.
They are going to be going for the engage, picking up 1 kill right at the start, finds a second from the Junkrat into the skies. Zarya falls, the Orisa is the one who gets rezzed, so they are going to try and keep that tank. The supercharger is available, it is charging them up, but it gets taken down, and Earthshatter finds absolutely everyone it needs to, and that should be an easy cleanup for the rest of the Bristol side. They should just roll it on through. Gamehold trying their best to hold on to it, but only going to last so long as they manage to take that second point. Oh, nearly going to take it. Fresh just holding on for dear life, but it's not going to last too long. There we go. Second point is claimed.
So Hyam Jade has a big responsibility in this upcoming fight. Soda has the Rip Tire, so what he'll be looking for is definitely the Mercy. Doesn't want to get the res off, because if you get one player with the Rip Tire, that's an easy res. So he needs to look for the Mercy in this fight, because she's coming towards a Valk as well, and that's a huge tempo ultimate, which will allow Humber Hull to actually defend off this one. But there's a huge barrage in the background, so at this point, Bristol's just going to have to back off as the rest of their team just falls.
Yeah, they're just going to be wiped. They have to go for the full reset here. No way that they can win that fight out. Obviously, the Mercy going down and everyone gone over. They're just going to go back. And actually, we're seeing the Hanzo being swapped onto. So a little change up in the comp.
Yeah, so this means that they can better contest FPI in the air. At the moment, they weren't able to do it as much, so now they're starting to change their strategy. So this is good. Bristol at least have a plan in mind. Gamehold needs to make good use of this Dragon Blade. So far, he's been a little bit lackluster with them, even though he's been very good. But Riptide comes out. We'll see if the Tiger goes for it, and proactive Zenyara ult comes out early.
They're able to try and keep themselves alive, but they're looking for the backline. Ooh, a lovely Transcendence pop means that they are just going to stay alive, but the Dragon Blade on the backline's finding all the damage it needs to, turns the attention to that Zenyatta. Not going to last very long at all, as Farah's able to claim the final kill, and they're backed off yet again. Another reset fight for Bristol, and they haven't decided on their comp yet. They've changed off the Hanzo again, and they're going for that Reaper now.
So the reason they switched off the Reaper, right? So they saw the Transcendence went down in that fight. This means that they can have a true brawly fight on their hands. Hyam Jade has a lot of pressure on her once again, but Game of Hull finds Swanky York, but he goes down also, so they know a lot of the DPS is gone from the side of Hull.
Oh, a lovely double kill from the self-destruct sequence on that Diva. And again, the Mercy taken down means that there's no reses available. This is a very strong fight. Really good start to it. Farah's still up in the skies, remaining relatively untouched. The Diva trying to follow it up, but we'll just be able to sneak away around the corner. He's going to save her own life, but there's overtime starting to tick away now. This is the crucial part of the map. They need to push through this indoors. Very, very difficult to cope with, especially with that Farah. With the rocket barrage, they come through the choke. They're going to be at really big risk. That Diva needs to stop it going down, but there goes the Genji. There goes the rocket barrage. They've already managed to pick off the support on that Mercy. So much healing denied. The death bomb's actually finding the kill onto Fresh, but they're turning it around. A lot of damage as both tanks for Bristol do fall down, and a res comes through. This should be a good hold, but Mini Diva isn't going to last long. Overtime ticks down, and Hull hold before that third and final point.
I was praising Greeno earlier on. It seemed to be less effective as that game went on. We got towards the end of the round, right, and he just wasn't helping his backline. Sure, he kept his shield up a lot, but I think that's just more preservation from himself when he was protecting from the Earthshard as it came down. We saw him push all the way on. I think he was hoping that he could edge it in to point 3. That didn't happen. The Earthshard had to be huge. He had to be with his team, made sure that the barrage was at least contained for the short while before Mosher can get the Diva Matrix onto it, which just didn't happen in this case. So now Bristol, they've got a tough road ahead.
Yeah, they've got to go and hold before that third and final point. Obviously, Rialto, one of the newer additions to the map pool, maybe they're not as comfortable on it, of course, not being sort of pro players, of course. These are teams that are assembled by each of the arenas. They signed up in store. They won through the qualifiers as well. So they're pretty good, but of course they're not pro players, right? So they're not super used to playing as a team necessarily. They're looking to try and find their feet here. And as you said before, Blank, that we could potentially be seeing some of these guys in the open division, maybe looking towards, getting into the contenders. Once we move towards the top of these teams, we're really looking at a lot of potential, and we saw it, I think, last season, and hopefully we're going to see it again this season into what could be some fantastic play and some developing talent as well. But as it stands, they still need to find their feet. This is the sort of level where everyone is is pretty good, but they're just starting to pick it up.
Yeah, so Bristol, we'll have a quick look at their defensive. And like you say, John, these guys are coming in, but this is week 1, so they're just finding their feet at the moment. Bristol, though, their defense is pretty calculated. It's not the best of comps, but what they've tried to do here is they want to prevent the Pharah from doing as much work, because their Fiat was definitely doing work. So they have the Soldier here, and they also have a lot of healing come out of Soda. They do not want to go down early here, but immediately the flank comes out from the right side.
They're jumping on in. There's the Winston straight into it. The Orisa is just going to gather them all up, trying to rain the damage through, but they haven't managed to find the pick early on. They need to try and pick off the Mercy, find those supports onto the back line, but the tanks go down first. Both teams losing one of their front line, trying to continue it on. And you can see that offensive is just going so well on the back line. They still have that position. They're still pushing it through and creating so much disruption, but there's still a lot of defense going on. There's still a lot of presence. You can see that Soldier able to put out a lot of damage, but finally the Mercy drops for the Bristol side. See if they're able to continue it on as they keep trading back and forth, looking to try and find the backline now. The Reinhardt back into the fight for Bristol, but he is just going to be sent packing. Junkrat around the side probably won't last too long there with the Pharah as well, but the Moira goes down, followed quickly by the Junkrat, and a nice little flank ends up working for them after a delayed team fight for Hull.
Yes, didn't that fight so long? Steel cojones on this woman, apparently. She had 40 HP during that entire fight and just remained valiant and stalwart and just kept firing down the rockets, which is good in this situation. But the DMEC comes out immediately. Here at the moment, their win condition is as soon as they see the Helix rocket come out from game Hull 09, the Soldier, they need to jump on him, because at that point he is easily diveable target. He's only doing 19 chip damage per shot, and the Helix rocket is his main source of DPS.
Oh, a lovely rocket barrage into the backline. Will find the DMEC, not quite able to cancel it out, and as soon as that mech goes down, there goes the tactical visor, finds 2 kills of his own, and a really clean fight coming out from Hull, just making sure that they get that first point, involving 2 ults there. And I think actually the Orisa ultimate, that Bongo, was dropped down as well, which means 3 ults invested to get that first point.
Oh my god, they just scrubbed the floor squeaky clean in that fight. You got the barrage, opened up the targets, created space, and then a Soldier could just engage the tactical visor, and that was all she wrote for Bristol in that case. Now they have some ultimate to work with. But already, Soldier's taking damage, cannot contest this Pharah in the sky, and that is their huge problem at the moment.
They don't manage to find anything with the self-destruct sequence. It was sent over, but everyone has managed to get away. Both frontline tanks there, but there goes the Primal Rage into the backline, jumping onto that Diva, trying to preoccupy her. You can see the Reinhardt trying to keep that shield up, but it's going down very low. Orisa pressuring forwards, trying to keep them grouped up into that side of the map, because of course they'll find it very difficult to get away, but they manage to sweep back across the lane. The sound barrier comes through from the Lucio. They've already lost one of their members, and they have to try and regroup now. You can see that Winston just jumping on back. They're trying to play close. In goes the Reinhardt. Greeno trying to play a little bit forwards. Earthshatter goes down. Only going to find that Mercy. Of course, the Orisa going golden, but they do get the kills nonetheless. As the Coalescence comes through, just backs up the rest of the team. They're trying to catch out the Pharah. Only so long for this world, as it is going to be Soldier to claim the final kill of the fight.
Mivia, so far, has actually been pretty smart. She uses the Fortify to make sure she doesn't go down to the Earth Shadow, then tries to place down the shield proactively. It's not as easy as popping your shield up as Reinhardt, but it can be done to stop the Earth Shadow from coming through. But Bristol coming back into this reinvigorated. They're ready to hold at this point. But again, we got that win condition we've seen so much so far from Hull at the moment. They're going to drop the barrage, and then Soldier's going to open up the tactical visor. Again, I'm not going to say much more in this case. It's just a simple win condition.
Going in, trying to find that backline self-destruct sequence. Will find 1, but Rocket Barrage finds 2 in response. They are going to be able to jump straight onto it, and Diva goes up and over. Takes one kill as well. And they're just going to find themselves in a pretty sticky situation now as they try and just force this fight back in. But once more, they're seen off, and Hull need to regroup. They need to get that ult charge back up. A little bit of an overinvestment maybe in the Rocket Barrage to try and find it. And actually, the Death Blossom comes out on the defense, but no one was really there to pick off with it. So maybe again an overinvestment on ults on the defense as well.
Carino, more like Redo. This guy's going very angry at the moment, trying to throw those Earth Shadows in. Super overkill. But this time looks like Bristol, they understand what was coming down. The barrage came out, tactical visor afterwards. They defended from the barrage and then found the Soldier as he was ulting. Already another Primal Rage invested, but his team's not with him.
No, he's jumping up, trying to disrupt the backline. There goes the Bongo, but it's taken down by Greeno pretty sharpish. Oh, Winston jumps back in and displaces that front line. Coalescence burned on the defense. They're trying to keep each other alive, make sure that everyone's there. The Diva Bomb is available for the defense of Bristol. Bongo goes down again, but It's just going to be getting so zoned out. The sound barrier available, but it's not going to matter. 2 kills go through. Genji and Lucio both fall, and this should be yet again another solid stronghold for the Bristol side as the members of Hull just falling left and right.
Mosher in the pit, groups them all together, gets a self-destruct out. That was well played. Knew he could go past the shield as it was only just placed by Mivia. That's an 8-second cooldown on that one, and you can throw that self-destruct pretty happily after that one. Greeno has the Earth Shatter. This has to be massive in this fight. It's the only thing they have holding on to at the moment. He has to make sure that at least 2 or 3 members go down on the ground here.
I'm looking at this Farah and thinking she's nearly got ult available, has been known to just chuck it down as well, so maybe we'll see some strong ults there, but the Mercy dies pretty early on. The res goes through onto Fresh, but at the cost of your support. They need to fall back and regroup now because Winston's fallen again as well.
No.
A massive, actually, Rocket Barrage finds 3 kills as backed up by the Genji, means that they do have the opening now to try and re-engage this. You can see straight onto the Moira. They will actually start to push through. Greeno now left on that cart. Doesn't have the Earth Shatter, did use it into the fight, trying to find those kills in response, but there goes the Diva Bomb as well. We'll just take out the backline. Game Hull still going though. He's still trying to find it. Has that Dragon Blade available. Not too sure he wants to invest it here, of course, in a 1v1 with that Diva, and when Mercy's coming in to back the enemy up as well, it's going to be pretty tricky, and the reses start to come through. They might actually want to re-engage this fight. There he goes, straight up into the sky, has the Dragon Blade, is going to pop it onto the soldier, dashes straight on through, looking to find the Mercy as well. The Moira got in the way, but it's not going to be enough. It's taken down by the Diva, making sure that that presence is still being felt, but here goes Reaper, very, very close to that ult, looking up into the skies, making sure he isn't going to be displaced by that Farah. And they are just getting pushed, and they have managed to find themselves around the corner. Moira very, very low. 1 rocket will do it, and he's going to find the support. Coalescence Burn on the attack, making sure that they can keep healthy, stay alive. Mosher taken down very, very low. Will get the D-Mech. Mercy has to pop Valkyrie to stay alive, but the Mini Diva's way too far forwards. Mercy as well is so exposed, looking to try and find the hits on the rocket, but it's not quite landing. Finally, half HP. The res doesn't go through, and this should be a very, very strong push. Hull managing to look for that second point. They have gone into overtime, but they are going to round the corner. The Bongo dropped, and it will see them home.
Yeah, he's been listening to Bear Grylls, survive, overcome, adapt. He's tried all of these flanks so far and finally found one that worked with that huge barrage we saw early in the fight. Sure, it looked like it was going in the wrong direction, but it would be the Genji on the side of Hull who was able to hold that one out for just long enough for those late respawns to come back in. Now we see them slowly pushing through to the 3rd point at the moment. They're looking for it now, and it will be up to this huge tactical fight. And we do see a Bastion come out, actually.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting certainly, but the Diva Bomb goes through. It is going to start us off, making sure that the defending team is pushed back towards those sidelines. You can see Greeno looking to try and get around the side, very close to that ult, but already Mercy's gone down. A huge source of healing, no res available as well. Tactical Visor burned on the defense, looking for 1, looking for 2. Bastion's managed to find 1 as well, and there it goes. The kill feed is red with the blood of Game Hull as they just get sent back, but Dragon Blade's popped into the backline. He's looking to try and re-engage. There's the Bastion. The deflect is popped, but Mercy comes out of the wings, trying to save it, but there's the res coming through as well. Jumping straight on, has to get out of there, cannot contest any further. Playing far to that back, they have to play. They have 23 seconds left on the clock. There goes the rocket barrage, but it's just completely shut down almost immediately. Res comes through, but the damage is already done. Valkyrie available. They need to re-engage onto this. They have no offensive ultimates, looking to try and dissuade it. There's the Diva self-destruct sequence. Everyone gets out of the way except for that Moira. So they've already lost that coalescence chance. It was 92% as well, so that's a huge stall coming out for the Belong Bristol side. There's the Genji jumping into the backline, looking to try and find that Bastion. So much damage being pumped out. Has to be very, very careful. Of course, that deflect being burnt means that he cannot step forwards, and Greeno is just devastating into this front line. He is a monster on this Reinhardt. He will see the map being won for Bristol as they take it before that 3rd capture.
It looked so bad for Bristol there, but they brought it back in the end. Hull weren't able to push all the way through, and that came down to an overinvestment in the last fight. The barrage came out, then the res on top of it just kept the game going for far, far too long, and they could have just brought it back, gone for one last fight, but instead they forced it, and there and then, that is where Bristol stood, and they stood valiantly in the end.
Well, speaking of last fights, this seems to be where Greeno just cleaned up, charged straight on through to everybody on that backline. Absolutely incredible performance from Greeno, I have to say. Very, very strong. I felt like the offensive ultimates from Hull just weren't quite as coordinated as they need to be. Rocket Barrage burn in some really sort of not optimal situations there, where you know, you've already lost two members of your team, and you're thinking, oh, I can recoup that with Rocket Barrage. But you find 1, even if you get the trade, you still have to disengage. You still have to reset.
Yeah, definitely. This is something they had trouble with. Is they weren't sure where they should stop and where should they start again. So the major difficult thing that they were dealing with on the side of Bristol, at least, is they weren't sure how to threaten the Pharah in the air, letting her get so much free reign at the moment. We saw her at 40 HP so many times for about 5 seconds because literally no damage was going on to her. But if they continue through like this and they can figure out how they can deal with the Pharah in the skies, I think Bristol have a real strong chance here.
Yeah, and of course, the next map being a control point on Nepal means that, or Nepal. I've been influenced by Trid. Trid keeps saying Nepal.
You've been influenced, son.
Trid keeps saying Nepal, and I keep calling him out on it. But there we go. We all know what a bad influence he is, to be honest.
Terrible,
I mean,
terrible.
Awful person.
We love Trid.
Love you really. Love you really. But yeah, Nepal. I'm just gonna keep saying it now. Nepal is going to be our next map, and of course, a little bit of a different style. The escort map, moving into the control. So, what are you expecting to see change up a little bit?
All right. So we're coming on to Koth, right? So Koth maps in particular, they're very, very brawly maps, especially on Nepal indeed, because you've got Village, you've got Sanctum, and you've got Shrine. These are all maps where it requires you to get dirty at least, because you've got to get in the fight, right? You've got to get your digger out. You've got to start digging the hole for the enemy team.
Yeah.
But in this case, what the main thing is I'd like to see some more Soldier here. I like the idea that these guys have been using the Soldier to create a little bit more distance, knowing that these guys aren't playing as much dive. He's much more effective here. He can use that sprint to reposition, get the flanks off, and especially on Sanctum, what you'll see is you'll probably see a Soldier on the right side taking control of the Mega Pack and then shooting down onto the point itself. I'd like to see if they play Ryan on Zarya, because it's interesting, right? Because Orisa and Roadhog are so important at the moment in the console, especially for Sanctum, pulling people into the depths below. However, Reinhardt and Zarya have just come more into the fold recently, and it might be that these guys are more comfortable on that.
Potentially so, and of course Soldier has such a consistent DPS against those tanks, they might have to swap up and go for someone like a Zarya as well, because of course, you know, what's good against consistent DPS? Something that loves being consistently DPS'd, right? That's the idea. So if they pick up that Soldier, I would love to see it, and you can see, well, we can. We are loading up into the game. You guys can't see. It's all for us.
It's all for us.
You're not allowed to see just yet. But we are starting up the game, and already we're seeing Zarya being hovered on a couple of goes. There we go. There's the Humber Hunter. Is that the Humber Hunters? Yeah, Humber Hunters on the left and on the right. We've got the Bristol Smugglers on that side. Of course, 1-0 so far to the Bristol Smugglers. Moving on to the second map of the best of 4. So we'll see how these teams are going to stack up. So, looking at what we've got already. Are you seeing anything stand out as something that's going to stick or something that's going to change? And if so, what would you like to see change?
So now these teams have pretty much coagulated onto their team comps at the moment. Something that's definitely going to change very, very quickly is the Reaper. Now, it's decent, yeah, versus on this map in particular, because you can get on the point. There's limited sight lines. He doesn't have to take too much damage. You can just hover around those walls and shoot in. But Efyat still on that Pharah, extremely strong. He's going to be struggling there. What we're probably going to see is the Brigida remain, and we're probably going to see something more like a McCree or a Soldier come out on Bristol Smugglers on top of that.
There we go, the Pharah being backed up by the Genji as well, trying to look for that left side high ground for them, already onto the point as Bristol looking to try and hold on that front line. Reinhardt just holding that shield, holding that point already, so they have the position. They want to get that early cap, they want to try and get the fight, but of course it's very difficult to hold, especially if you've lost your Mercy straight away. They're charging straight on in, that's the Zarya shield. Will make sure that it doesn't take too much damage from that, but already they're being forced off the point with Soldier going down. That's a massive source of DPS being lost, and the rest of them are just going to clean up as Fresh just demolishes them, taking a leaf out of Greeno's book.
Yeah, of course. What we want to look at here, right, is actually Mivia and Fresh playing 2 main tanks. Now, the reason this is working is because Bristol Smugglers, they want to get in. They want to fight with the Reaper, the Brigida, and at the moment, what Humber Hunters they're doing, they're just keeping them at an arm's length, okay, in this situation, and Bristol Smugglers just aren't able to get in. At this point, Efyat's already moving up to a barrage in this situation, which is pretty much going to secure this next fight. A nice displacement where with a concussion rocket, but pulling it all back in once again. Soda does find Efyat in the air with a nice Helix rocket to the face, and now it'll be time for Bristol to go.
Just jumping in. Fresh actually using the Earth Shatter onto a Zarya bubble, so it had no effect at all, and Greeno's going to capitalize beautifully. They find 1 kill in response, but that is going to be nothing to stand in their way. This Reinhardt is an absolute machine. He is not stopping for anyone, as he is just going to clean out the rest of the whole side. Just Genji trying to dance around, but he's only so long for this world. He's just delaying himself, just staggering it.
Greeno came in clobbering there, took out the hammer and slammed them all into the ground. I mean, if they were nails, he'd have himself a freshly new made table in situation. Mosher used the self barrier there, so Fresh knows he can go in, but this moment they're just staying back. And this is where their comp fails, is they're not as effective as moving forward. Fresh does not have the Zarya shield that he needs to get into position, and you see his shield already going down very low. Greeno, another Earth Shatter in the pocket, and there it goes.
They're just going to push on through, and yet again, a massive engage being found. Or at the start of the fight, we saw Sodarife able to take down the Mercy, and only late to the engage means that she's not going to be able to put out the healing that they can do, and they're just going to get wiped. Yet again, a very strong fight. Mosher now has that Graviton Surge available. They don't really have too much to combo it with, but that's not really going to matter, especially with Zarya starting to load up on that charge.
This is fine here, though. Graviton's going to come out. Greeno's going to come down afterwards, going to swing that hammer in, build up to another Earth Shatter. What's going to be huge here is F-Gat with a counter barrage, knowing it's coming in soon. Game Hall finds Swanky, though.
They're just going for that re-engage, and this could be the fight that we're looking for. That soldier has to be put all the way back towards that point. The Mercy won't be able to get the res, and there we go. They're starting to pick up those kills, and it's blue on the kill feed. As they do just roll on through, they should be able to cap the point. 73% on the board for the Bristol team.
Mosher slammed down the Graviton, but the rally was in effect there, giving them a lot of armor required to survive that one out. The team wasn't there from Hull to actually capitalize on it. Sorry, Bristol, they weren't able to capitalize on that Graviton, and they just backed up. And after they've given Humber a little bit more room to breathe, that's when they went in and put the foot on Bristol's throat.
Oh, a lovely Earth Shatter onto the enemy Greeno. He's a massive force to be reckoned with, but that just the healing coming out from Mercy will keep him so healthy. And Reaper in the back line is going to find 2 for himself as well. They do take down the Brigitte, a very strong source of healing, especially in those close-up engages when it's all out brawling. But a lovely Riptide double kill means that it is going to be contendable for this for the whole side. Another kill going through for that concussion as well. And Junkrat is absolutely raining terror down, but finally shut out by Mosher. And they do manage to get that cap back, 84% for Hull.
Oh my god, the Junkrat managed to hold that one on for so long, up to 84%, which means we are now in last fight territory, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have to see how this one pans out, but what's going to be important is the Valkyrie from Bristol. That needs to be huge, and there it is, the tempo. But the side of Hull, they're not moving in quite yet, so this could be completely wasted. Mosher has to find a good placement of this Diva Bomb, as well as game Hull, the Junkrat, is just moving on up to another Riptide.
They're playing forwards, and they've already managed to find the kill onto the Mercy. That could be really crucial, of course. Without that Valkyrie, they don't have the source of healing that they need, but Mosher just finds it. The Diva Bomb able to take down the backline support, and Junkrat, he's going to try and pop the Riptide, but it's not going to matter. Does get demech'd, and there's still the Zarya going, still going strong on the point, but doesn't have that self-shield available. Trying her best to try and get those kills, but Mercy will get the res onto that Reinhardt. In comes Brigitte, but just too late. Unfortunately, it is going to be going down. The ultimate nearly available. Shield be popping that down, so shields starting to regen for the whole squad. They're really going for this fight. They need to keep playing forwards. The Mercy being found out, but just flying away. Not going to last too long. Tracer on the point, trying to stall it out, trying to keep everyone alive. That's a huge amount of regen coming through, because of course Brigitte on this point, just so much regen coming through, but finally shut down. Greeno charges on through, and there we go, the first point being taken by Bristol.
Bristol were just very happy to sit on that one. As long as lifelong jam, I mean, jam lasts a pretty long while, but not long enough in this situation.
It's called a preserve, right?
It's called a preserve. They preserve for a long time, but eventually that jam's got to go sour.
Yeah, unfortunately it was the case. They did end up losing that fight. Trying to stall it out, obviously with the Tracer, not super relevant in the meta, especially against the Brigitte. Very difficult to play.
We got there.
We got there in the end.
It's fine.
We all know it's difficult to say, and it's fine. It's not fine. I will get it right. But yeah, not super useful, because you can just be one comboed by the Brigitte.
Definitely. So that's a shield bash into one hit, and then the whip shot afterwards, which does 70 damage. That will just clean you out. So the way people have been saying, at least in the pro talk at the moment, is the Tracer will win out a Brigitte battle if she plays it correctly. But at this point, you always have to be cognizant where the Brigitte is, and that almost is a detriment to your own game style, because you can't always just be running around free as a bird.
Well, yet again, it's going to be Bristol taking position up on the point. It's going to be Hull looking to try and bear down on them from that sideline. See Reinhardt just trying to get them through. Zarya building up some charge, trying to play in close. You can see 25 charge already, so not too much, but in goes the Reinhardt, counted out by the enemy charge as well. The capture's already gone through, so they're fighting with the time as well on their side. The res comes out, trying to keep that Reinhardt alive. Zarya goes down, and they're losing their front line as well. Fresh low goes down to Greeno, and this is a brilliant fight yet again for Bristol. They're trying to play too close, but the pushes just aren't coordinated for Hull. They're going to get shut out, and yet again, they lose the first fight, and they lose that point.
And this is the problem with playing against Bristol. They have a Reaper on their side. Hull is just cleaning this one out now with nothing short of a miracle, really, as AF comes around the side with Hey, I'm Jade and sorts it out and says, hi, hello there, I am a Moira. I can heal the entire team up to full HP within 3 seconds. But at the moment, this is what Bristol, they just want to get back onto the point now, because Reaper's very effective on this point, because you can take high ground, drop down with the left Blossom, but the Coalescence, this next fight is going to be massive, as well as the Deadeye. Yeah,
they managed to get the point, and it just it was just a 2v4 that they managed to win out. And as you say, very, very strange. The Moira now having Coalescence available, Deadeye as well. As you mentioned, Blank, it's going to be super useful into this next fight, but they need to play up close. They have got the Tactical Visor for Bristol as well. They're going to be looking to try and find a spot to use it, but they've already lost their Brigitte. That's going to be so difficult to move forwards. The res has to be used, so they don't have that available for the next fight. There goes the Tactical Visor for the Soldier. Looking to try and find a flank on the side, but the stun comes out, but it's just not quite soon enough. Unfortunately, it does go down, but only 1 kill found with that Tactical Visor. Coalescence still available. Mosher finds 3 with the Tactical Visor, including the D.Va D-Mech. And it's still, that Moira just keeps going, trying to keep that mini D.Va alive, but very difficult to try and pin down that Moira as the Mei gets swapped onto for Hull.
Yeah, so Bristol, they've pretty much countered the Moira here. I mean, you can't heal anything if there's nothing left to heal. But HMJ does have the Coalescence again, so she can use that to re-engage on this fight. They're very happy to give up more about 10% before they do make that re-engage. But Efyak going down there is going to stall them by another 10 seconds. It was like a very risky push for Bristol, because they went in, they lost the res. That's 30-second cooldown. They can't use that to bring up Greeno in the fight. And Soda also went in with the Soldier Tactical Visor. He went around the side very aggressively, ran into the McCree, and everybody knows you can drop out the flashbang into the headshot to quickly take the Soldier out of the equation. So that was very aggressive. It was almost more on the fault of the McCree in that situation rather than Soda. He just got kind of lucky here. But we're coming to this next fight. We have the Dragon Strike. This has got to be huge.
Coalescence gets popped. There's the Dragon Strike going through, just tearing through those health bars. Brigitte taken down very, very early on. Will find Greeno as well. This is the fight they wanted to find. Hull need to take down that Mercy, but the res comes through out onto Greeno. They still have a chance here as the Mercy goes down to a lovely couple of shots, couple of arrows to the face as they do start to reinvigorate themselves into this fight, but a lot of damage coming out from Fresh on this D.Va, meaning that they are going to be able to find their feet as well. The Graviton Surge still available, but it's not going to matter as Hull just clean out the point. Mei doing not too much work there, so maybe they want to think about swapping that up, but they do get the point nonetheless.
Bristol very happy to give that fight over at 99% here, but we just need to really take a moment to appreciate the aptitude of Greeno and Mosher as the tank combo. These guys have been keeping each other alive all game, the D.Va Matrix and the shield on top of her. It wasn't just unfortunate that Reinhardt can't quite smack away at D.Va as she's boosting. There's the Mei wall, not going to do too much for you. Now they can go in knowing that there's no Mei wall to stop them, so you're going to see Bristol coming in hot now.
It's the Graviton Surge, though, that could be looking to try and find that. There's the D.Va Bomb and the Mei wall yet again available. Where's the Graviton Surge? The charge and the pin comes through, and it's taken down before it can be used. That's absolutely huge for the Bristol side. They need to charge it on through. The Death Blossom just zones Ethiat off the point, and they will clean it out, looking to go for that take on the point. You can see they're just capping it on through. Overtime starts to tick down. 88% on the enemy team, but it's not going to matter when they have no players left standing. They should be able to just take this one, and 2-0 on Nepal, as it is going to be Bristol yet again leading into a 2-0 lead.
And this is the problem, right? When you don't contest the Reaper. I mean, I keep saying that, but these guys keep slipping up in their team composition picks, right? But the Reaper at the moment play very well, and that's the strength of the Wraith form. We saw he's used it so many times during those 2 sub-maps, really. He was able to get out of sticky situations that he wouldn't necessarily have got out anyway. And then we see Greeno going huge there, finding all the targets. This man so far has been amazing.
Absolutely incredible. Very, very impressive on that Reinhardt, leading his team by example, making sure that they do win to victory. Of course, that is the second game of the best of 4, so 2-0 now to the Bristol Smugglers. They're doing very, very well. They're going to be looking to push forward. Obviously, we got the third map. It is going to be the capture point, which will be Temple of Anubis. And it could change up a little bit, but with the way that Reinhardt's playing, you just stick to that. Make sure you're playing with that slow, steady, aggressive stance and making sure that you keep your tank healed up. And they seem to be able to capitalize with the DPS as well. It's very, very strong to see, and I'm really, really excited to see how they're going to perform throughout this game and the rest of the season.
So, in particular, you mentioned Temple Anubis. That's the map we are going into next, right? You also mentioned how aggressive and calculating Greeno is at the moment. Now, the way I see it is Temple Anubis is going to go pretty easily to Bristol Smugglers because these guys are so effective at taking space and keeping it. Now, Temple Anubis is one of those maps where you really need to do that. So you can either go on the right side as you come in. Well, let's pretend we're the attackers, guys. So we go on the right side, we take Mega up top, and then we drop down. We use the high ground over there. That's okay. Oh, he's the attacker. So, and now we're back to the defenders. Come on.
Okay, that's more of a...
Do this?
It's more of a...
Like this, yeah. So we're boxing.
Ducking and weaving.
These guys, they have difficult to contend with that because they need to move down from the ledge, which makes them on the lower ground at this point. Gives the attackers the advantage. So all they need to do is need to get in... It's getting quickly, and they need to prevent that push onto the Mega Pack. So the other way they can go about it, which I think Bristol Smugglers are probably more likely to do, is again we're pretending we're attackers. We're going to go on the left side. We take the Mega there. We prevent the push onto the ledge. We can either go behind the point and take it there, or we can drop down. Now Bristol Smugglers, he's behind me now. We're all good. We're all good.
Go behind the point.
We can switch.
You're making the point. I was behind you.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, all right. But the good thing about this is Bristol Smugglers are going to do well with it. That's the main point.
That is the main point, and I think it's a very good point to make as well, because of course, just the way they're playing, they seem to be coordinated. Both teams are ready now, so I think we are going to load up into the game. I'm sorry for throwing you off of your game a little bit there, but I was having fun.
I feel like you made it easier for me. I got really into it. I started to role play the attackers and stuff.
That's the point, right? That's why I love Overwatch so much. It just gets people involved. There's so much story behind it that you just don't realize.
You got to get in the lore. You got to get out the books. You got to I've got a huge book at the moment. I mean,
it's a really big book. Mine's pitiful in comparison.
Slightly smaller book.
I mean, it's portable.
Mine's
compact.
Not as portable. This goes
well, do you know
nowhere.
what? It's not the size of the book that matters. It's what's written in it.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Take a note, gentlemen.
Take a note in your pocket-sized books.
Yeah. not Blank's large book, of course.
Blank with his extraordinarily large book.
All right, let's get into game here.
Being a font of knowledge. Oh dear. I've just been given a terrible joke.
Production have asked me if I've got blank pages in my book. I do, guys. I do.
I mean, it's just pictures of himself stuck on like a collage.
Oh yeah.
That's the blank pages.
And then the occasional just white bit of
or maybe
paper.
It's a directory of contacts like that you have in the esports industry. That's your blank pages.
Ooh, instead of yellow pages, we've got blank pages. Yeah, okay,
exactly.
All right. All right, we'll get into game now. So I'm sorry, guys. We're just having a bit of fun here. It's week one. We got to have fun, right? We got to entertain you guys at home.
Don't apologise.
Yeah. So we're going to take a quick look at the defensive comp. Now we're definitely going to see a Widow here. This is undeniable. What I'm not sure about is Mivia and the Widow setting up on the low ground. You can actually use the May wall here on the beginning of the map to get the Orisa up top side, and that's really important to give the Orisa a little bit more shielding in the beginning. So now we don't have that going on. At any point, Swanky Orc can switch his attention over to the Widow and take her out early on, and that's going to open up the space. They won't have to worry about the Widow doing the damage onto the front line too early here.
Trying to get those shots through. Of course, as soon as they turn that corner, the Rhine Shield might drop, and that's when you need to be preying on it. So as soon as that Junkrat just peeks around the corner, you can see that's the poison as well triggered. So they do have the vision on to Reinhardt. But as you said before, they're going to go to the right. They're going to try and take that high ground and aggress from there. Fresh actually managed to find the first kill, so they've already lost one of their supports. That's a really strong pickup actually on the defense, but out of the room they go. A second kill goes over. They need to reset here. There's no way they can continue. They've lost their Mercy already. This should be a conceding fight here for Bristol. They need to regroup.
Yeah, now with the frying pan into the back grenade. Not a great place to be, but you see what happened there is they lost a member. As you lose a member trying to take space on that side, it becomes very difficult because you can just be pincered. And a 6v5 situation makes things so much easier in this case. You are going to see the Widow keep popping shots onto the shield, and this is because at any moment the Reinhardt might drop it. You can get a free headshot there. Swanky Orc taking all the damage. Not quite been healed up yet. He's crying medic in the background there, but no one is listening. And there's the shot that we were looking for. Now they can engage. Jade will have to use the Coalescent to keep his team up and alive, but there's a Moira in the background. Not sure why.
Well, apparently Moira is the best DPS in the game. He's already managed to find 2 kills. just finally get taken down by Lifelong Jam, and that's capitalized with a second as well onto Greeno. So they've lost that Reinhardt. They do have the Riptire on the defense as well. Coalescence popped. Coalescence is being burned, and a lovely Earth Shatter comes through. They're going to be able to try and finish out all of these kills, and again on the defense, they find themselves holding on just for the moment. As now the Graviton Surge has been charged up. They're just being sent back for Bristol, but right now we're waiting for the ults now. We're waiting to try and see that. Ethia actually does pop the Riptire, looking to try and just finish off the rest of the defense. And actually, Mosher getting taken down. I'm not too sure how high charge it was, but that looks like a very high charge Zarya there.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I'm almost happy to see her on the floor dead.
Yeah.
But the thing in this situation, and there's another Riptire going to go look for the Widow. We get the res onto Mosher as well, so they start to go back in, but they've just lost a lot of their healing in the form of the Moira. There is a nano-boosted Junkrat in the background, pumping in a lot of damage, but there's a Graviton. Has to be huge.
They don't have the Dragon Strike to capitalize with it, though, and because of that, they're just going to be sent packing. They're not able to do enough damage. They're not able to burn through those health bars. The Moira just keeping them all perfectly healthy, and they're just going to have another strong defense. The Hanzo died far too early before that engage happened to the Moira, which meant that they just didn't have that available. The combo is so important with these two heroes.
What seems to be the situation here, John, is that Hull have much better communication. In the previous fight, they were able to determine that they didn't need the Coalescence just yet. They could hold on for it until it was absolutely necessary. And there's a Dragon Strike coming out as well. It just feels like these guys are flinging everything they've got at the wall, and nothing is sticking at the moment.
Well, the Riptire is available. Let's see if he's able to find something. Meanwhile, on the point, the Reinhardt has managed to find one, and the Moira getting taken down in the backlines. They still have that Mercy up and alive. Pops the Valkyrie, trying to keep that the one player left on the point alive, but the Riptire finds 3. They can just stand on the point now. Their versus 1 is just the Junkrat left standing, and that's not going to be lasting too long. Ooh, Mercy nearly going down to the death bombs, but they now have control of the point. And with Reinhardt stepping up, they have a massively strong position here. This point should just be going over on Temple of Anubis.
Soda just blew open the doors at that point with a single Riptire, and yeah, those Mayhem grenades there, they're pretty tricky. You gotta get out of the way pretty quickly. So the Guardian Angel came in there, very handy. Now they need to rush onto the second point. Greeno does actually come up to an Earth Shatter in this fight, so it's up to him to block Lifelong Jams and then use his own. Obscure Owl doesn't have the Valkyrie, so they don't have a lot of defense there. They need to wait out this Barrack Grenade and go in after that. See, they are jumping through the main alley though. I don't agree with this. It's not as safe. You are just going to take a lot of poke damage, and Lifelong Jams just happy to stay there. 97% on Freshes and a boost as well as, so that's going to come in handy, giving that to the Reinhardt and letting him smack away at the side of Bristol.
Genji being swapped onto as well. Doesn't have too much on the ult charge. Junkrat building his up though as well. 78%. Dashing into the back lines. That's a very bold move from the Genji. Needs to find something for it, but instead, the rest of the Bristol team just pour over the wall, and they're going to be straight onto the point. Greeno finds the first, but there's the Junkrat very, very low. Genji not quite able to find it. Finally gets the kill, but the Earth Shatter just lands straight onto his face, and they shut it on down. They push straight onto the point, and they now have a massive advantage. There goes the Orisa, and the cap starts to go through. They should be able to get back onto the point, though, but for how long are they going to be able to keep it? The charges meet in the middle. They are going to get knocked down. Ethiat playing onto that Tracer means that they do have a little bit more speed to try and defend. Genji as well is back up now on 80% of that charge. They're looking to try and kill out the Zarya, and it will go down. Of course, 75% cap. They only need one more tick to go through. They have almost 3 minutes to do so. So they have quite a few fights and quite a few opportunities to get in there.
So only 33% remaining. And look what Bristol Smugglers got there. They've got the Dragon Strike Graviton. And sometimes that's all you need, right, to take a point. Sadly, in this meta at the moment. And they will have the tempo ult coming out from the side of the Valkyrie, which is going to give them even more damage. Allow them to out-heal a Zenyatta, even if Hull had one, which they don't. So it's going to be very easy. But it'd be depending on how good this Graviton comes out. And Mosh is looking for it now. There's the Graviton. Needs to be the Dragon Strike soon, though.
They've already taken it down. The Genji dashed in and got a Dragon Blade as well, coming out, taking down the Hanzo very, very quickly, so they couldn't go for the combo. And they're just going to be able to hold on to this point just for a little bit longer. A lot of ult investment being put through for the Bristol side, but Hull are going to be able to see themselves safe. Make sure that they're just topped up. Greeno, last man standing, just staggering himself out now. Finally goes down to Lifelong Jam, but that was a really crucial pick there from the Genji.
Oh That's upsetting, man. Genji jumped in and cut their plan to pieces. Little ribbons of paper just falling all over the place. But now you see Mosher switch over the D.Va. Now, in this case, I think it's a smart decision, especially going against their double main tank combo. Near 10 meters, D.Va does a lot of damage to shields, so she's like a blender when it comes to Mivia's 800 shield over there, and also be good to get rid of the Reinhardt shield. But they are engaging on the right side. Game Hole are taking a lot of damage, but they will be going back out again. Soda finds 2, and once again, he might just blow this one open for these guys.
Greeno charges straight on in, and already in signature style finds 2 kills. This is a brutal stomping. They don't need ults. They don't need anything to help them out. They are just going to punch straight through. Their second point goes through, and Bristol, they've got their second point now on Temple of Anubis. Are you expecting them to be able to compete here on Hull, or do you think they're going to have their work cut out?
You know, Hull have been playing pretty well so far.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. Bristol stopped doing this thing where they go in and take it calculated. Greeno seems to have... the anger is mounting here. I think he might need to go to anger management soon because he's getting very aggressive recently. But the main thing that we need to look out for is the win condition. That Bristol Smugglers still
He is big and he's green.
He is big and he is green. He's basically the Hulk.
I know.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I'll let you set me up for that one.
That's
I appreciate that. But now we have a workable win condition, right? 1:08 on the clock. This means that even if Hull do make it to the second point, all they need to do is hold out for overtime, which means that the guys on Hull won't get a second attack, and Bristol will get a second attempt to just take point A. This is going to be extremely important for them, so they need to hold out for as long as possible.
They need to keep that pressure up, just setting up for that defense.
I'm a little confused by the defense, actually.
Yeah, are they going to stick on the Bastion?
I mean, it's possible to work on the first point. It's a little bit of a cheese pick here. The main times you would probably use it is if you set him up on the high ground with an Orisa. It can be a bit obnoxious, but I doubt they will bring it out as it actually rolls out and you can see him walking through. I guess I just got debated, guys. That's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, that seems like it is going to go through.
Please press F in chat.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm pressing F on the keyboard right now. I don't think it does anything.
No, I don't believe it does either.
It's not bound to anything in Spectator.
You are paying your respects, though.
I am paying my respects. Pretty hard. I'm hard respecting that, because that is a respectably bold choice coming out for the Bristol side. They do have the double shield, though. They do have the satellite shield of the Brigitte, as well as that main shield from the Reinhardt. He just needs to sit there. The counter dive can be there from the Brigitte, making sure that they don't get through. But with that Pharah in the skies, they're going to find it very difficult to get through, especially with the Bastion just doing so much damage.
I actually really do like this play here because they have the D.Va right instead of the Zarya, and that's to make sure that if the shield does go down, she can D.Va Matrix the Bastion, make sure there's no projectiles coming through to him, and he can continue to do damage onto the Pharah in the air. But there's the huge dive coming in. Massive cleave coming out for Fresh, but he falls early. It's 360 damage of the Tesla cannon if he hits all 6 targets here. But now it will be these guys pushing them back, and the robot, even though I said it does nothing, has remained on the point.
Yeah, they're able to just hold that one straight up, and as soon as Fresh went down there, they realized they can't go for that re-engage. Brigitte just holding face around to the right side, but goes down pretty early on. No backup for the rest of the team. Reinhardt taken relatively low as well. The res has to go through, trying to keep that one up, but they managed to maintain their pressure there. Looking to try and get that Bastion through, but they've just sat back on the point with that. They're willing to give up this ground, and that's a massive lack of DPS. So if Hull can find a way through here, they might be in with a shot. They're looking to push it down, but they're just getting seen off. So much damage goes through. The D.Va bomb over the top manages to find lifelong jam as well. Straight in through a lovely accurate shot going through. Maybe an overinvestment on the Earth Shatter there. That was a lot of ults being burned on the defense.
That was insane. The self-destruct went through that tiny aperture, the smallest window of opportunity, and it will be Mosher who's find it. He's done this a lot during these games so far. You know what? I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed, Mosher. You've impressed me today. You get your blank seal of approval.
Oh
yeah. So well, you can if you really wish. I'll award you one after this game.
Yes.
But F-Yat here. So what they really want to do is they want to make sure that either Obscura Owl is forced to use res early, and then the Riptide can come out. But we see him use it already. Can he find anything? That is the question. Still going. Finds 2. There it is. Once again, the breach is there. Now Hull can engage.
They're looking to try and push now onto the point. They need to capitalize, but the point is just being held. The Junkrat trap is going to keep that Mercy back. They're onto the point again. They're trying to contest, but they're just getting sent off again. It doesn't matter, like they got triple kill with the Riptide, but they just melted after that. The Bastion hasn't been dealt with.
Yeah, see, the thing is here is that Bastions just remain on the back point. They're not really quite wary of him. Primal Rage comes out, and 1000 HP is removed in mere seconds. And it will be all that rally armor keep him alive. And it's so difficult to get through the rally armor as well, as they're playing the D.Va and the Winston. That just does not do well against armor. You pretty much cut your damage in half because of the way armor works in this game. Self-destruct comes out afterwards, and now the robot is forced to run away. Mosher will fall, so he has to come back early. But once again, you have Obscura Al, in-house medic, picks him back up again.
Yeah, the res comes through. The rocket barrage available for Game Hull, but they're really going to struggle for opportunities to use it. As soon as Farah stands still in the sky with that rocket barrage, guess who's going to be looking straight at it and pumping out more damage? It's the Bastion, right? Like, all you've got to do is point and click. I mean, that's kind of Bastion in a nutshell, right? Point and click. Yeah, but it's like one of those point and click adventure games, right?
Yeah, of course.
But they are going to be going on quite the adventure, as they've already lost 2 players on the defense. Maybe this is the chance that Hull needed to get through, but a lovely catch from that double D.Va bomb will take the kill. The Earth Shatter as well is absolutely huge. Both tanks get caught up, and that is so much damage finding its way through.
Mosher!
They're not going to be able to keep going.
What are you doing to me, man? This is insane. And he's cleared it all out. Now it's only Mivia remaining. Goes for the health pack. It is 57% towards his next self-destruct. Already, guys, he just used it. That's insanity. And now it'll be the side of Soda back again to back his man Mosher up. But Mivia finds Soda back into the mech now as well, as I'm not sure how long they can hold out. But as long as they get to overtime, they're pretty happy with that. That's 4 minutes coming into point.
There's the rocket barrage just cleaning them out. The damage is strong. Greeno's back onto the point looking for something, but Ethiat says nothing is available. I'm afraid we're sold out of everything. They are going to be able to get the cap. The overtime starts to tick up, but I don't think they're going to be able to get back onto the point, get onto the hold. Seems like they're sticking to the Bastion idea though, and this time playing it at the back on B site. There is 4 minutes left remaining, and they need to try and beat 3 minutes left, right?
Yeah, so they need to get it by 1 minute or 4 minutes plus, right? Okay, so yeah. They've got 3 minutes 35. They want to clear this one out quick, so their second attempt is better than Bristol Hull's. A lovely bash with the fist from the Simeon man himself will block this guy into the side and completely remove that charge from the fight.
Well, they've already managed to take him down, and look at the aggression coming out. That Winston opening up so much space for them, as Ethiat manages to find the Brigitte as well. They're taking them down. The D.Va defense matrix can't stop getting frozen up, and there we go. The D.Va is going to be able to take down Greeno, capitalized as well by the Junkrat. They're jumping on. There goes the rocket barrage yet again, but the defense starts to storm out of the respawn room. They're looking to try and hold on to the point. There's the Junkrat just stepping forwards, trying to find that Zenyatta really very low, but finally gets shut down. Instead, it is going to be the Zenny picking up that kill. This Flame Strike will get the trade. There's the Earth Shatter, the revive coming through from the Mercy, meaning that they are going to be able to stand still straight onto that point. And again, they just get seen back. A brilliant rally from the defense.
These guys, they've stayed on the point for so long, and you see the spray off to your left, and that's true friendship. They always come back together, and it's all rainbows and sunshine in Bristol at the moment, because these guys just won't let up.
They're trying to get that poke damage down now. You see the Valkyrie is available for Hull. Not available quite yet on the Bristol side. So there could be a little bit of tempo going the way of Hull, but they start to pressure forwards. No real offensive ults right now for Hull, so they need to be careful. It's a matter of who manages to get that first pick. The May almost has that Blizzard available, getting the freeze up onto Fresh, making sure that it's chucked down, and it will capitalize onto the point. The freeze going onto the D.Va actually charged out by Greeno, but it's not going to matter as the mech goes down. And they are going to push on through, keeping that point safe, keeping it secure as Mercy falls. The Bastion remains untouched yet again. Just so much damage being able to be pumped out, and they aren't quite dealing with it. As soon as they can get through that front line, that's when they can turn their attention to the Bastion.
So the problem at the moment is their idea is, oh, we'll pick Genji, we'll pick D.Va, and we'll pick Winston. And they're going to jump into that. But the moment, Bristol, the only really thing that they're countering there is the Bastion. The rest of their team is very happy to sit on point and be the anti-dive that they need in this situation. What really should happen is the guys on Hull should switch probably over to a 4-2 comp, go for all that tanky pressure, just jump onto the Bastion, swing away, and with all the extra healing from a Lucio and a Moira, and go that way. They contain the self-destruct within the Winston shield, but they are forced to use the Zenyatta ultimate. I'm not quite sure why. And in comes the Riptide, taking FYAT out of the equation.
Already 2 kills going through. They need to go for the reset here. They can't win this fight. Fresh just pops Primal Rage. A little bit lackluster, to be honest, but here they go. They're actually storming onto the point. They find the first kill. The self-destruct sequence is there, but the Reinhardt shield should block it all out. Nothing really found from it. They're trying to hold onto the point. It's going very well. FYAT burning through that rocket barrage, but they have a massive lack of players. It's not going to matter, however. The damage is strong. Bastion trapped in that corner, and finally they can deal with it. Finally they can stand tall on the point. They're getting low on time, but it shouldn't matter too much. The D.Va won't be able to remech. It's taken down. The first tick goes through. The second one is coming up, but out of the wings, who's that emerging? It's Greeno. He's jumping straight onto the point. They're trying to hold it, but Game Hull will be able to get down the damage. That's all that they need, and that's all the damage that they need to find. But the Mercy trying to keep that Bastion alive. They shut it out. The Mosher still on that point, still trying to hold, but it's not going to be enough. 1 minute is burned down all the way. They did go to overtime, so 1 minute 45 on the clock for the Bristol side, 1 minute for Hull.
So now they've brought it back, they can get back into this situation. It was unfortunate. Bristol only needed to hold out for a slight minute longer, and they were able to go into overtime, and at best they would have come out with a draw. These guys, at worst at least, sorry guys, but the problem at the moment is they only just found how to deal with the Bastion in the very last moments. They dismantled the rest of the team, staying kind of wary off the point, knowing the Bastion set up in the left side. And then once they dismantled the major targets like the D.Va and the Reinhardt, which are their main sources of utility because they need the boost to come back and help out the backline, they were able to go in, use the D.Va matrix on the Winston, and FYAT went in after that because there was no counter-attack, meaning all these bullets were eaten. Now we're coming in to the second attempt from both teams. It will be FYAT and his team Hull going first here, as they are the lesser time bank. They're going to go for dive once again, and Bristol Smugglers, they're going to be stubborn. Stick on the Bastion. Stick
on the Bastion. So maybe we might have expected things to change, but no. They're sticking to their guns. Everyone is ready and waiting. I mean, normally if someone sticks to the Bastion, it's because it's super, super strong, but it just wasn't. It wasn't incredibly impactful in these rounds before. I mean, it was fine, but it wasn't great. You know, you only need to hold out for a minute, so maybe that's what they're banking on, just going for those shields and making sure, because of course you have 2, maybe 3 if you're lucky, attempts at going for this point. And if you just get burned out of the sky on that Pharaoh, it's going to be very, very difficult to deal with. That Bastion just making sure that they can get the damage down, and already a D-Mech goes through.
Yeah, so this is not the Hull we saw in Rialto, right? Already we are seeing the kills coming through. They will probably get a second attack, but like I was saying, this is not the Hull we saw in Rialto. And I would peg that down to the Bastion being a little bit of a thorn in their sides. Although it might not be super impactful, the mind games that they're playing with it is making it very difficult to get in. Winston misses his jump, not quite placed as securely as did. Go back for the D.Va matrix, does Hayam Jade, wants to stay alive for as long as possible, but there's Genji, takes down the Bastion, and now Winston pumping a lot of damage in the enemy team with the Tesla cannon.
Oh, managing to drop straight down onto the Mercy. So they've lost their res, no chance of that, but it's charged straight back. Greeno is devastating still. Bastion all the way back at spawn, but they're onto the point. They're looking to go for the push. The overtime is going to start to tick away, but they find that first tick, so they are guaranteed to at least not necessarily lose. They could find this first point so far, and it looks like the defense is just going to give up that point. So 30 seconds will be added. They have pretty much 1 attempt to go for this next push. Game Hull have those ult charges coming up as well.
Very, very possible. Hull has a good ult bank. If they can remain on this point for a little bit longer, it will engage the Dragon Blade. Then you'll get the barrage. Then you have the Valkyrie. You keep people in, and you will have fresh 81%. He's going to have the Primal Rage to extend out the point hold even longer. It's very possible, but Soda taking out FYAT. No mercy to res him back up, and this push pretty much done.
Well, there's the Dragon Blade coming through. It needs to be big, and it needs to be now, but unfortunately the Bastion is still ready there. Just sat in the corner doing so much damage. They managed to hold on to the second point. This is going to mean that it is going to be available for the victory if they can find the time, if they can find the openings. Hull, they need to hold that defense, but if Bristol can find the openings, they could be in with a chance of winning it here.
Yeah, so Bristol at the moment, they've got a max potential of 2 minutes 15.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you've seen this number before, but I've never seen people take Temple Anubis in 2 minutes 50.
Have you not?
No. I've not seen that. No, I don't see that very frequently, at least. So Bristol Smugglers, they've got a very, very. It's not a tall order, but at the same time, it's very much not an easy task. The way they've been playing so far is very strong. Obviously, their attack was pretty decent on the first way round. They got it down to 1 minute. It's still 7 minutes it took them to do it for the first time, so they're going to cut that down by 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's doable. It's doable, especially if they have the Bastion, because as we saw, that is the way to do it, apparently. But Hull will be taking the idea and running it on their own. So you see they're actually going for the same defensive comp, but instead of running that D.Va, they're going for that Orisa, which is something that you mentioned before as maybe working a little bit better with the Bastion.
Yeah, so the way Orisa works, at least, is that she obviously has a directional shield, so she doesn't have to put a body on the line like Reinhardt does in this situation. She can put down the omnidirectional shield wherever. In this case, probably going to put it in front of the Bastion, and then she can go off, use the Fortify, and pump damage in with her machine gun, and also find use out of the Hull as well as, which will pull them into slamming distance, for Fresh at least.
Yeah, well, slamming distance seems to have proven a little bit more effective for Greeno in the past, but it's their turn to attack. He's going to be leading forwards. They're not playing up on the high ground, so they are giving away that low ground. They're playing around this Bastion's position. They're trying to look for it, and already they've actually managed to find the offensive Mercy, so they have to pretty much reset. Like, they can't really go for this fight. They need to wait for the Mercy to respawn, wait for that re-engage, but they've already managed to step forwards and take that ground because they've been allowed to by the Hull side. This actually gives them a lot of space to operate, right?
Yeah, it does, and they have a lot of avenues they can take. In this case, I'd probably go top right side, but you do see Efyat is up there holding that one down. Belong, BRC, Bristol 20. Yeah, good lad. The Reaper is going up top side on the left, hoping to drop down and get some damage. Greeno does find Efyat, so he was silenced here, and now it's time for Bristol to go in. They have 50 seconds. They're very cognizant of the time.
Reaper just shotguns to the back of the face for Fresh. That shield needs to stay up in that direction, but he just can get free damage. Jet getting their ult charge. He isn't even moving. Has anyone told him he has WASD on his keyboard? He's just gonna sit there and wait for the rest of his team to die before he drops down, and he is just gonna get shut down by the Bastion.
30 seconds remaining, guys. You've got to regroup. You've got to go back in. Bristol, there's a very, very small window of opportunity here. And the side of Hull, they've got a Riptide coming up. They've got a Bastion ult coming up. And the rezzing the soldier is probably the worst thing you could have done in that situation. He's going to be even more of a late spawn. Now they only have 15 seconds to take this. This will be a blazing fast push if they can make it.
And look at the ult charge as well for the defense. They have the Bastion who's coming up. They have the Earth Shatter almost available. Greeno on 60%. Probably won't have it before they have to go in, but they have to move forwards now. It's do or die, and the Orisa gets pinned back. That means the Orisa shield won't be quite in the right place, but it's not going to matter because there goes the tank form. There goes all the damage they need. The soldier gets shut down. Mercy to follow. The beautiful Riptire, and that is a clean hold for Bristol.
I mean, if you can't beat them, join them. And that's exactly what Hull did. Pull out the Bastion in that case and put an absolute wrench in the works for Bristol Smugglers.
Okay.
This is unfortunate for the guys. The main thing there was actually that Greeno went in with the charge. It was a very nice charge on the Orisa. However, the Brigida came in strong there, managed to stun him and stop the charge from through. He saw Soda. That was the point A winning Riptide. These guys, they've had a tough time though. Hull definitely deserved that one, but because it was the guys on Bristol, they've already taken 2 maps, means that Hull can only at best get a draw here, and that's definitely what they're going to go for. Well,
the fourth and final map, of course, will be Blizzard World, which is the hybrid style of map.
We love Blizzard World.
Oh, I love it. It's so great. All of an exemplary showing of all of the suite of Blizzard games that have come out over the years.
We've got StarCraft, we've got Diablo, we've got Deckard K telling us stories. It's the best time in Blizzard World.
Love it. Yeah, a little bit of World of Warcraft, a little bit of Hearthstone coming in there as well.
Of course. Yeah. So this map is tough to. It's a tough nut to crack.
Yeah.
Especially first point, because there are so many ways you can play it. Offensively, you've really got to be clever about how you go about things. At the moment, Bristol have just been kind of smacking their head against the wall, going down pretty predictable avenues. We saw on point B of Temple Anubis, I think they went through the main gate. They got slapped around a little bit, and they were like, I guess we'll go left side. And after that didn't work, they said, I guess we'll go left side. And it still didn't work. So these guys, they definitely have to think of a new way to attack at the moment.
Yeah, definition of insanity and all that. Just
doing the same thing over and over. Come on, guys.
Guys. It'll work this time.
Straight jacket. We don't want that.
It'll work this time, I promise. Absolutely.
I'm sure of it. But yeah, as we come into Blizzard World here, we have it again up on our maps. As you can see now, you can see on your screens the beautiful Blizzard World that we were just describing beforehand, and we're getting our quick run through. Flight of Duskwood, A Flight of Duskwood on the side here is like a theme park production. We will agree with you from the desk over here. But actually, this is a good place to be because we can talk about Flight to Duskwood. This is a place where a lot of people will hold. And I'll tell you at home, it's not always the best place to hold because once the guys on the defending attacking team, they circumvent you there, you have to come back to the first point. And by that point, if the attackers are smart, they'll have retaken high ground all the way at the backside, and it becomes very much more difficult to retake. So you cannot let that happen. So most teams will hold either very towards the back or at least have a flanker on the right side to prevent people coming through like a Junkrat.
This is a rubbish ride.
It is rubbish. It's too slow.
Well, it's not even that it's too slow. It's just, like, what do you get to see? Like,
Look
some
at the
pictures.
pretty pictures. Also, you get to pretend that you're on a griffin. Come on.
Maybe it's through there that the main ride is.
We're not allowed to go through there.
Can't go through there.
That's the adult ride.
Yeah, that's
where it really feels like a griffin. And you're
that's
going
where it
very
really
fast.
becomes Duskwood.
Yes, exactly.
Well, there we go.
A little bit of.
Fortunately, it's a little bit more exciting here. Of course, the floating temple in the skies. You've got
It's beautiful.
pretty much everything going on. Look at that. That's beautiful. I'd love to go.
So would I.
Do they sell tickets?
I would hope so in the future. We're going to take a quick look at the defending team. They have, again, that double tank combo on Mivia on the Orisa with Fresh on the Reinhardt. It's been working so far, but Bristol may have figured out a way to get around it, and that is by getting a lot of damage in the front lines. They have the Hanzo, and now they have the Pharah as well. As they're just going to keep pumping in that damage, and then after that, it's going to be a lot easier.
And looking to try and take that high. You can see the Hanzo on that high ground just getting actually sent back a little bit by that Pharah. Needs to go back and heal up just a little bit, but of course he can just remount. It should be very easy to maintain that ground. Pushing forwards though on the attack, the Mercy taken very low.
Sure.
Hanzo managed to find some damage, and actually it's Brigitte who goes down first. Mercy soon to follow, so they're not going to be able to go for that. You can see the engage. As soon as those two kills go through, Fresh just steps forwards and holds his left click. That's all that needs to do. They get sent back again. Needs to remount their attack.
Bristol seemed almost a little bit unsure of where they were going in this final push. They came on the left side here and then just remained there. They were just chilling out. They were taking a look at Flight to Duskwood just as we were, and slowly but surely they did fall afterwards. They now have a time to re-engage. These guys have dropped off the high ground, so it's a little bit easier for them. They did not get the time to retake it, and it looks like these guys are going to go right side. So they've decided they're going to change things up. Go find Efyat as Soda pressures them into the side of the tanks here.
Greeno just already managed to find himself onto that track. They've managed to completely take the high ground, but they've lost their Junkrat. They can't really do too much now in terms of busting those shields open. It's going to be a lot more difficult, and in goes Greeno, but he misses his charge. The rocket barrage is available, will be popped towards the back, finds two, including the Mercy, drops down for a rocket for a third, and that is a brilliant open up onto that point. They stand on tall, and they will be able to go for that capture. Fresh just not going to last too long, and actually goes down to the Mercy.
This is the problem playing against Bristol with such an aggressive team, right, guys? When you're trying to figure out where's the attack going to come from, is it going to be Greeno in the front line just charged me? Is it going to be the Junkrat? Is it going to be the Hanzo? But in this case, it was Soda, came around the left side, had a really great flank there, found two, and then just cleaned up after that, prevented the res as well as coming out. Now, Efyat, he has the Dragon Strike, but nothing to combo with it because we are playing Orisa instead of Zarya, so it's not as effective unless he can find these guys in these small, narrow alleyways. On point B of Blizzard World is a little bit easier because the street space is kind of narrower. There's the Dragon Strike early, does find Swanky York, but it's so close to the spawn, these guys can just go back, have a team meeting, and then get back on board.
Have a cup of tea. Quick little biscuit as well.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a rich tea. What's your preferred dunking biscuit?
Gotta be digestible.
Well, I'll tell you what the favourite dunking biscuit of Fresh is. It's the entire enemy team as he just dunks them straight down onto the floor. They're going to be able to clean it on through. The Bongo gets dropped behind the shield, but Greeno should be able to deal with that. Kills, though, aren't going to be dealt with. There's the Graviton Surge, actually, in response. The Flame Strike goes straight on through, and that's a huge charge. Managed to find the Brigitte, but he is going to go just straight on down. Maybe a little bit of an overinvestment, a little bit too much from that Graviton Surge. They might have been able to wait a little bit and use it with that Rocket Barrage, but the swap comes through, so that's what they're looking for.
That could have actually been really dangerous for the side of Hull, because they actually pulled the Reinhardt closer so he could start swinging away at the enemy team, and he could have possibly got a Earthshare in the moment, and Greeno would have been very happy with that. Now we switch Mosher over the D.Va once again to deal with the shields in the front line, but Efyat finding the Junkrat early on is not going to be good. Removes him from the fight, so that's a refrag onto the side of Hull now from Bristol. Tactical Visor is going to have to come out soon onto this Farah who is in the air.
Has to duck down into a little bit more safety. There's the Earth Shatter actually being dropped down onto the cart. Rocket Barrage comes down, finds 2, and Soldier's nowhere to be seen. He is completely zoned off, looking for that Mercy, but 1 kill for the rest of your team, I mean, that's not really worth, is it?
Not really. I mean, in that situation, it was very, very smartly played by Soda here in the sky. He actually prevented... Come on, dude. That's just mean.
Yeah,
he prevented the Soldier from doing anything by forcing him into the right side within the small room. I mean, the Riptide still came up. He got efficiency out of that one.
Yeah.
And then after that, engaged the barrage knowing he was safe to use it.
Well, off the back of that double kill as well, with the Riptire, Greeno just moves forwards and once again holds that left click to great effect. The Dragon Strike goes towards the cart, but it's not really going to hit anyone, and they just push it up. They've already taken that second point, and they're into the castle phase.
This is 3 minutes 31 remaining on the final point of Blizzard World now. This one is slightly harder to get through because there is a corner there. Everybody knows corners are a little bit easier to defend from. Now they have Hyam Jade back onto the Moira here, who is providing excellent support on Temple Anubis. See if she can do that again here.
Looking to try and find the flank. We've got Junkrat moving around that side, drops the bear trap. He's going to try and bust through those shields, but Farah is the one to find the first kill onto the opposing mirror match. Orisa shield should drop down relatively soon. McCree trying to find something, but Sodarife just devastating everybody in his sightlines. They're just charging on through. Again, Greeno managing to just take it down and moves forwards with the support of his team in beautiful synchronicity. And once again, he just opens up the entire enemy team.
Now this could be it for Bristol. Such a convincing time bank with 2 minutes 35 remaining, and the spawns getting further and further staggered here. Could be great for this team. Now they have Barrage, engages it already. Lifelong Jam forced away here. Barrage runs out. They're staying on the point. Lifelong Jam only needs to take one more rocket directly to fall now. Holt comes out, pulls them all back. Now it'll be the Moira in the background with a Tracer, but it's not enough to aggravate them, as it will be remaining Soda keep coming through.
They managed to get back onto the cart. There's the charge, but it isn't actually going to be able to get down the steps, and it will stay near Greeno. He now has the Earth Shatter available, but he's not even going to have to use it. They managed to push all the way to that third and final point. Might be a little bit tricky to get around, but they do manage it, and that is going to be a very strong push coming out from the Bristol Smugglers with actually quite a decent time. 2 minutes and 6 seconds left.
Yeah, so on point B here, right, so to quickly break things down, on point B there was some very, very, very late spawns that came out, so point C was a lot harder to proactively defend for Hull, right? So they gave them so much space. Bristol Smugglers already made it pretty much half the way around, and from there they had the ultimates to deal with it, and so they've been playing phenomenally this map.
Yeah, he's done very, very well for himself and for the rest of his team. That Farah indoors just doing so much work and making sure that you send them to the bottom of that abyss.
Bottom of that one.
Bottom of that one. They're all going down there. They're all going on a little vacation, family holiday.
Wouldn't like to dunk my biscuit in that one.
No, that's not a dunking kind of place.
No, it's not at all. But now again, we're going to see these guys switch it up. Hull moves over the Roadhog. This is the first time we see them move onto the Roadhog, and now they have a main tank and an off tank. We'll see if they can do that. I don't really agree with the Ana pick here. What would be more effective would be a Lucio to make sure that your Moira always has a chance to speed round, and also give the Brigida some repositional value here. So now that you have the Ana boost, Best is going to go onto the Roadhog. He's going to whole hog after that one. But even so, Bristol Smugglers, they're very good at disengaging in this case. It's not going to be as effective. Hull, maybe the Hull been able to prevent the shields coming out from Bristol might be a good idea, considering Roadhog does so much damage at close range with the Orisa spam on top of it. That might be their win condition, but at the moment I can't see Bristol Smugglers losing this one.
Well, that's a bold prediction, but of course they are 2-1 up, so if they manage to hold here, they're going to be up in that 3-1 position. A very nice place to be, very comfortable. I mean, obviously you want that 4-0, but you know, sometimes
you'll take the 3-1.
Yeah,
it's the same amount
you'll
of
take
points,
it. You'll
right?
take it. You know, it's not quite what you wanted, but it's better than nothing. It's better than an avocado for Christmas.
Yeah, well, it's very healthy. This might be a
nice
thing to get.
That is true. It is a very healthy thing.
So damage boosting on the Bastion here, going to increase his damage by 30% using that damage link. Very, very well played from this team though on Hull, displacing all the targets from Bristol off the high ground. They will be forced back after that.
Straight away, actually, the Bastion falls, so they have actually gone quite far with this one. They're starting to push on 3. The res towards the Bastion means that he is going to be alive and kicking. Has to fall back, though, to that point. They do have to regroup themselves. They have lost a few of their members, but they are now back alive. They're waiting for that charge to come through. You can see the presence is there. They're waiting to launch from that Orisa shield position. They're just biding their time to get everyone back and regrouped.
Now, Greeno has the Earth Shatter, and the problem with Mivia on the Orisa here is that once she puts down the shield, Greeno can pretty much just say, oh, okay, I'll walk past the shield, and I'll just lay the hammer down after that. So he's going to be waiting for that 8-second cooldown to come out. Game Hall is forced to look up to the skies to find the healing there. Misses the Sleep Dart as well, so that's going to mean that the side of Swanky Orcs will move back, but he falls afterwards.
Bastion just sat at the back of sight, just trying to get all the damage he needs. As soon as they turn that corner, he is going to be such a massive threat. Orisa might be able to pop the shield down, but it's not going to last very long at all. They have so little time to try and do the damage there, so they have to pick off everyone else and then turn their attention to the Bastion. They just can't do it, and the Orisa shield actually blocks up the Earth Shatter, but from behind, it's a Farah in the skies, finds everything they need, and the Ana is only going to be for so long. They do take it down, but Brigitte as well in the back, just standing on the point, and actually,
hey there.
It's a Brigitte on Brigitte, just a 1v1, and then it becomes a 6v1. Brigitte gets seen off that first point. They are going to hold yet again now, 1 minute 55 on the clock.
Soda, again, I can't tout him enough, right, guys? He's been playing extremely well. Stays in the skies, and that's 120 damage per second when the barrage starts to hit, and it lasts for a good amount of time. So if you're not able to stop that damage in the sky with a Diva Matrix, then you move up to them, possibly sacrificing the mech in the case of stopping the barrage and killing the Farah. That's what you really need in this case. And we see it there. The Diva Matrix comes out, completely denies the barrage, and they're able to just pick him off using the Bastion in sentry mode.
It was a weird barrage anyway. I mean, she was completely alone. There was no one else to back it up. There's the whole hog going through, and it's not even going to find anyone as well. The tank form comes out from the Bastion, finds the kill, and they've only managed to take out the Mercy, and already they've lost 4 of their members on the push. They have to fall back yet again. There's no way they can keep going onto this, but Orisa's just going to keep going forwards anyway. Brigitte might have popped the ultimate, but it's not going to matter because you've got so much damage coming out from this Bastion.
I really like this play, actually. Swanky Orc is maintaining around the side of the Bastion at the moment, which means that the armor pack can come out at any moment and just really throw your opponent off guard, because that's flat healing. That's not over time. That is just completely flat. So when you see a Bastion on low HP, you go over to him, and then suddenly he's 300 again. You just sat there questioning what you're doing with your life.
It's kind of an existential crisis when that happens. You just think,
what am I doing here?
Oh no, I've done it again. I've done it again. Why do I keep doing this? Oh well. But they are going to keep doing it. They are going to keep moving forwards. They are going to have to keep trying to kill that Bastion as well.
Oh,
and Soda Rife just shuts down the McCree. They don't have quite the right amount of healing. They're forced off the high ground though by that Diva bomb. But once more they have to fall back. Once more they have to regroup. Moira around the side will drop that Coalescence down, and they have to go for the push there. There's the Rocket Barrage being burnt by Soda Rife, and they aren't finding the kills that they need. The Bastion does go down, but the Mercy still has that res available. They're looking to find it, and actually that's a lot of damage coming out from the defense. They're just getting seen off yet again.
That's a ton of damage. Overtime now. This could be Bristol taking this one 3-1. They will be your week 1 first-time champions, as Fiat will just fall afterwards. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. There we go. Let's go to the win screen.
What time is it? I don't think it's quite high noon.
Not
it's going to be the Bristol Smugglers, though, taking it, as you say, 3-1. A really very strong performance coming out from them. They were coordinate on the defense. They stuck to their guns with the Bastion, which debatable at times as to whether that would be acceptable, but it seemed to work quite well. Player of the game. Player of the game, yeah, this is fair enough. Goes over to Soda Rife. Been so good on this Farah, making sure that he's always getting those rocket barrages in the right position on Blizzard World, certainly. Whereas on the opposing team, on the Humber Hunters side, it just wasn't quite as coordinated. They were always sat there, and we saw it on one of the later pushes. The Farah just went up into the sky, dropped a rocket barrage, and no one else was around. And it's like, I'm really exposed. You have a Bastion who's looking right at me. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to press Q. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait. It's a terrible idea. No, and they paid the price for it.
See, this is the problem with Soda. Soda doesn't have the problem, because it's more the fires on the side of Hull here. They're not getting the value they need out of them. Soda's always getting the space made for him, so we've got to give props to the tanks there. He does always... was Mosher and Greeno, always on like a left side flank, who were making sure that all the pressure was on them.
Yeah.
Soda was very happy to come around the other side, take the barrage out, and just put a massive wrench in the side of Hull's plans.
Yeah. So, well, that was all 4 maps. If you have to give a man of the match, who are you thinking? Who springs to the forefront of your mind?
I have to put it to Mosher. I mean, divas, you see, when they play extremely well, they often go unnoticed. And in the moment, if we just watch all the maps, if we did watch all the maps back, we're not going to do that right now. That would be tedious.
Oh.
You do see the diva. Production says you can, but
no, it's fine. Don't worry.
But you often don't see them make too many mistakes. Mosher was just always there, well placed diva self-destruct, which you saw on Temple of Anubis. That was insane through the window. Oh God, if you're an old man in the house, you got to be unhappy about that. Smashing through your window there. I'd be calling the police in that case.
Well, get off my lawn, he says, as we are going to go to a quick break, getting ready for the next matchup. So